So, the big question is this: how are ambitious people like us, who don't have a lot of resources, did not go to Ivy League colleges, were not born into wealth, how do we become resourceful enough, use our creativity, our dedication, and a little bit of crazy to bootstrap our way to realizing our dreams? Whether it is launching a new company, launching a new app, or making it to the top of the corporate ladder. That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. Please like, share, and subscribe to get new episodes, videos, and other updates. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this new episode of Bootstrapping Your Dreams Show. I'm your host, Manuj Aggarwal, and today I'm talking with Glenn Ackerman, who's an outstanding life coach, motivator, author, and he has worked with numerous people, helped them out get their life back on track. And we will be talking about self-sabotage today, which is one problem that a lot of entrepreneurs and professionals face these days. So we'll discuss how we can get rid of self-sabotage and put ourselves on the path of success. Welcome, Glenn.
Hi, Manuj. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we are very excited to hear what you have to say. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty details, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and before the interview, you were sharing a few stories about how you got started. So it'll be good to get to know you. Our audience will understand where you're coming from.
Sure. Well, this whole thing started my work because I wanted to heal myself, and I came from a household with a lot of love, but with a lot of emotional violence. A lot of people yelling at each other, a lot of fighting, a lot of screaming, day in and day out. And I couldn't wait to leave when I was young, 17. And even though I left that situation, that situation didn't leave me internally. And I found myself dealing with stuff like anxiety, stress, worry, self-sabotage. And I began to feel this thing inside me. I didn't even know what to call it. So I went into the personal development industry and at first as a student, and then learned and mastered different technologies and techniques to try to heal myself and get over this. Mm-hmm. And I must have done over the years dozens of different programs and trainings and seminars and courses. And while they made a little bit of difference, it really didn't move the needle, so to speak. It didn't really help. Nice. And so what happened was, and we can talk about this a little bit more, but I discovered that in the personal development industry, it is a 97% failure rate, which means that people who read books to improve or take courses to improve, seminars and the whole thing, they get a little bit, just like me, they get a little bit of results, but then they got to go on to something else because it's not enough. And it wasn't until I discovered the fascinating world of energy, energy medicine, energy psychology, and what I do now, which is called energy awareness training, that I was able to not only turn the corner, but I was able to heal myself of all the stuff I've been battling for decades. And as a result of that, now I help other people do the same thing, and the word's been spreading, and I'm very grateful for it.
That's great. That's awesome. All right. So let's now talk about the topic of the day, self-sabotage. So, just so that everybody's on the same page, can you define how do you define self-sabotage? Let's start there.
Great question. I define it as one part of us wants to go in one direction, and the other part of us wants to go in another direction. Mm-hmm. And we find ourselves doing things that we know we shouldn't do, that aren't good for us, and yet we find ourselves doing them, and we find ourselves staying away from the things that we know we should be doing, or the things that the directions that we want to go in. So there's an internal civil war taking place between us, and that leads to frustration. It leads to what we call self-sabotage, and the ability to we're here and we want to be here, and we take steps forward to get where we want, and then something pulls us back, and we take 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. And that was happening to me for decades. I was watching it happening time and time and time again. And I just didn't know how to deal with it. And I wasn't able to deal with it until I really understood energetic awareness. And that was the key to me turning the corner and eliminating self-sabotage.
That's great. Yeah, so you use the word civil war, which is, resonates for sure. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is we do this and we are not even aware that we are, stopping ourselves from reaching those goals. And we tend to blame others or situations, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
We blame other people, but it's really, I have a saying that says, in my teaching work, that says, light doesn't come to us, it comes from us.
Yeah.
Think about that what we're creating here, when you become aware of how the energies work, what's happening to us isn't an accident. Nobody's doing it to us. It's being created from our energy, which I define as our thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and behaviors.
Yeah.
So once you recognize that we're creating it, then if you're creating what you don't want, you can also create what you do want.
Awesome. So that leads us into the next question. So now, is it possible to control this behavior and correct this behavior and align ourselves and move in the right direction?
There's no doubt about it. We can actually control it, but we have to come from a different place than we were raised to believe. In personal development, people think, well, you change your thinking, you change the way you think and you change your life. That's true to a degree. Absolutely, you want to think, of course, positive, but it goes deeper than that, because what I'm dealing with and what I've discovered is that there are hidden energies inside us that we're dealing with. That's what this self-sabotage stuff comes from. Mm-hmm. And there are different energies inside us that are having an effect on our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, and our beliefs, and most of it is hidden. We don't realize that we're being influenced, but we notice the results, especially in self-sabotage, which is we're not getting where we want to go, we're not doing what we want to do, and we're not achieving the results we want. But it comes from, it's a different paradigm, not just the thinking, it comes to do with dealing with the hidden energies inside us. And that was the turning point. That's the big thing in my work that I'm bringing to the world.
Awesome. And so how do you recognize these hidden energies? What are some of the steps that people can take to understand this concept?
Well, I think everybody listening to our broadcast today can relate to this. What I mentioned about, we're here and we want to be here. And we ask ourselves constantly, why aren't I more successful? Why aren't I making more money? Why don't I have the relationship I want? Or why isn't my relationship working? So there's a gap between where we want to be and where we are. And the gap comes because the hidden energies that are working inside us are influencing us. Now, I know your next question is, where do these hidden energies come from? Yeah. They come from the experiences that we have growing up. They come from the deep emotional incidences that we go through. Some of it's trauma, some of it's disturbing emotions. All of us, if you're walking on planet Earth, you've all had some tough times. You've all had some trauma that you've been through. You've all had things that you're working with. And the latest discovery about energy medicine is that these things that we experience when we're younger and through adolescence and teenage years and beyond, that energy that we experience doesn't go away. It attaches itself to us, and it keeps in a other than conscious way, keeps influencing us. And even though we don't, that's how I became aware of it. I go, there's got to be something going on, because I say I want to be here and I say I want to do this, and yet there's another force that says, no, you can't do it, no, and puts blockages in there. So the key to this is locating what that energy is and dissolving it, and that's what I do. So
that's a great explanation, and I think a lot of people will resonate, and I can relate to that for sure. Now, are there any tools or techniques people can use to to understand themselves, understand these energies inside them, or they need to work with an expert like yourself to get to that level?
Well, yes, yes to both questions. There are a few things that I can share with you now that can open up the process. What I do is called energy awareness training. And what that is to become aware, literally, of the energies that are influencing you. And when you're aware of what they are and you can see them and you can read them, you can do something about that. And it's not overnight, but it happens pretty rapidly once people have really made the decision that I want to improve my life. For me, I was desperate. I was tired of suffering. I was tired of being frustrated. I was tired of taking 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. So I wanted to do, hey, whatever it is, if it could work, I wanted to learn it. And thank God that this worked. So to answer your questions, the first thing that I teach my students is that we are energetic beings, and that everything that we're dealing with in this world is an energetic exchange. Everything that you're doing every day involves dealing with energy. Going to work, making money, energetic exchange. Relationships, marriage, kids, energetic exchange. Your health, staying healthy, energetic exchange. So the first thing I do is I alert people that you're an energetic being and that you're dealing with energy internally as well as externally every day. And then I start to reveal how the energies work. I'd be happy to go through that in a little bit here with you. And then when you become aware that, you start to see things and notice things internally and externally about how the energies are working. And then when you can see that, it's like having an X-ray vision, so that's how that worked. Oh, so that's why that happened to me. So that's why I'm sabotaging myself, etc. like that. So that's what the training opens up, a whole new world of realization and understanding and achievement. But getting back to your first question, the first thing I would say to people, in addition to being energetically aware, is the energies come to us in our thoughts, in our emotions, in our feelings. And we have, when people say they're stressed or they have anxiety or worry or fear, it's the thoughts that are causing them fear. Like, oh, did I lock the front door? Oh, did I leave my keys in the car? Or, oh, did I leave the stove on? You notice when you have certain thoughts, they bring on certain emotions, certain feelings. And experts say that we have roughly about 30 to 50,000 thoughts a day going through our head, just like a river of thoughts. And many of those thoughts are thoughts that want to take us into a what I call a low vibration energy or a stressful state. And if you're not aware of how those thoughts work, the thoughts themselves can influencing you. So the first thing I say to answer your question is, don't believe everything you think. Because they're energies that are trying to help you, and they're energies that are trying to take you down. And if you think all your thoughts are yours, you'll believe when the thoughts go, oh, you're not worthy, or oh, life sucks, or this isn't going to work out. You have to recognize those aren't your thoughts. These are different energies trying to influence you. So that's the first thing I'd say. Be aware of your thoughts and understand that you're not your thoughts. See, I used to think if I had a thought that said, oh, Glenn, you're no good, or you're not as good as the other kids. Must be true, right? Because I had the thought. Where does that thought come from? Really? And what's the source of that thought? Because thoughts bring energy. The thoughts energize us, energize our feelings and our emotions. So that's the first thing I do. And then as we move into being able to be thought aware, we want to be emotionally and feeling aware. That if I'm not feeling good during the day, or let's say you get up and your energy's kind of low, or you're mildly a little depressed today or something, you don't have to stay that way. That you can there are methods and tools that can actually change your energy from a depressed state or from a fearful state to a high vibration energy state, to a happy state. And knowing how that works is what I do in the training.
That's great. So if I can interpret that, so basically, the thoughts that are coming to our mind, they're basically external stimuli, right? And we are trying to interpret them and internalize them. Instead, we should just look at them as external stimuli, and just like any other vision or smell or any other stimulus that we receive. Is that correct understanding?
That's the basic understanding. I would go a little bit further and to say that every day we're being influenced by energies.
Yeah.
And I categorize all of these energies under two headings. Mm-hmm. One is what I call a high vibration energy, which is happiness, joy, peace, abundance, blessings, love, all the great things that we want in life. And there's another one called low vibration or low frequency energy, which is anxiety, stress, worry, doubt, fear, all the stuff that we don't want. Now, these energies are influencing us every day, but we don't, the good stuff just feels natural. When you're happy, it feels natural. When things are going great, it feels natural. But when we got anxiety, when we got stress, when we got worried, that's where we have the problems. We never have any problems in high vibration. All our problems and challenges and frustrations are in the low vibration energy. And these energies come looking for you every day. Just they deliver like Domino's pizza. And they go, hey, how about a little negativity today? How about a little worry? How about a little fright today? And that's where you can hear them in your thoughts. You don't do anything to make that happen. It just happens on its own. And I always ask the question, why? Why can't my thoughts, feelings, and emotions always be happy and positive? Where does this negative junk come in? And why do I have to deal with it so much of the time? And the answer is because there are hidden energies that are trying to influence you. And if you don't know that they're trying to influence you, it's like, when it's just like a mosquito. A mosquito knows that it can't get your permission to bite you. It knows that. So what does it do? It has to be covert. It has to fly around the back and wait for you to be asleep, and then when you're off guard, boom, then it bites you. Well, what happens when you're aware of the mosquito? When you hear that buzzing in your ear, and you swat it, the mosquito goes, oh, he's aware of me. Okay, no surprise, I better back off. And that's some of the formulas. One of the ways that you deal with these negative thoughts and negative emotions. First thing is being aware of it.
Yeah, for sure. Now you mentioned some energy medicine. So do you, when you train people, do you also prescribe or recommend any specific like medication that, or is it basically just training your mind?
Great question. No, I'm not a medical doctor or hold any medical licenses, so I'm not able to diagnose or treat. I work strictly with the energies in the body. Yeah. And it's interesting, though, that the National Institute of Health came out with a statistic that said over 90% of all emotional and physical illnesses are sourced back to stress, anxiety, and fear. Yeah. And what are those? Those are energies. Yeah. So what happens is when I teach either one-on-one personal students or I do my group coaching, inevitably there'll be somebody who has a physical ailment that they've tried. They've been to 20 doctors and naturopaths and you name it, they've been there, and they haven't gotten any satisfaction out of that. So what I do is I work with the energy around that, with the beliefs, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions. And usually what I find is that there's a blockage in the energy. And when I take that blockage out, when the energy is free to move and circulate, a lot of times that condition clears up, almost instantly. Yeah. So, that's a surprise and a delight that I find in working with people. But I suffice it to say that whether there's an emotional upset or a physical upset, it's usually a disruption in the energy field. And that's what I specialize on. And this is, by the way, common knowledge in the Orient, in Oriental Asian medicine. They go looking for the energy first, but here in the West, it's more of an allopathic nature.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just to share my own experience, it's been ironic because I grew up in India, and I basically, I was aware of all these studies and experts over there, but I did not really look into that in great depths. But when I came over to the West, I had similar experiences, which made me realize, there's a whole different world out there. Meaning, you know. We look at ourselves as physical beings, but when you become aware of these paradigms, you can see yourself as just a bunch of energy floating
Yes,
around, right?
yes. You know, the one thing I mentioned to you is that Nikolai Tesla, we all agree, is one of the greatest geniuses,
Yeah,
of our time. Said, if you really want to understand the mysteries of life, then you'll start looking at everything in terms of frequency, vibration, and energy.
yeah,
And that's the quote that really changed my life, because when you do that, you see, Manuj, everything that we call energy, whether it's human beings, air, energy, jobs, everything here, it all has a power, it has a purpose, it has a frequency, it has a direction, and it gives off energy. So if you're able to see the hidden energies and understand how they work, you can get information that most people can't get, because you can see multidimensionally. Instead of being limited to what I call the three-dimensional world, you can be multidimensional in what you're doing here, and you can see things and have the advantage in business or in marriage or in health that most people don't have. And that's why I think it's becoming so popular here, studying energy awareness training.
That's great. And I was going to say, so how long does this process generally take? And do the people who are interested in learning this, do they have to be in physical contact with you?
They don't. I would say the best way to learn anything is to have an expert personally teach you. So that's the way I started this, doing one-on-one teaching and coaching, because everybody has their unique circumstances. So that's probably the best way to learn. But I also have online training where you can learn from video modules in my courses. And then I'll be starting up group courses probably here in the next month. So there's a lot of different ways to learn. And the main thing is to be able to apply what you've learned here. And what I tell people is that you're going to get a lot of great information. You're going to learn. You're going to be aware of so many different things, but nothing changes until energy moves. That's the most important thing to recognize. Nothing changes until energy moves. So when you're working with me or working with the modules, you learn to start moving energy every day from day one. And it doesn't take long to get results. People get amazing results in a matter of weeks, and life-changing advancements, in a matter of months. So we have a whole fan base all over the world of people who've gotten great results with this. And I'm the number one guy who's got results with this. So that's why I'm pleased to be able to get the word out.
Awesome. That's great. And so, you brought up an interesting point about learning from an expert. So going back to your journey, how did you run into this? Did you discover this on your own, or somebody guided you?
It was a combination of both, actually. In my personal development quest, as I mentioned, I took a lot of different courses and trainings, but I was blessed to have three major teachers who steered me in this direction, and they were both teaching different things. One was an energy master from China who taught me about how the different energetic fields work. Another one was a scientist who taught me about neurolinguistics and neuroscience and how the body responds. And one of them was a spiritual master who taught me how the upper dimensions work, and from a 2,000 year spiritual lineage. So coming from that place and learning those things, I developed a method, and I started developing energy awareness training, and then actually was downloaded, I don't know what a better word is, from above, or got the realization a flash, whatever, to be able to see and notice how the hidden energies work, and to be able to take all the teachings from this place, from that place, from over here, and coalesce them into alignment, into energy awareness training, so where I can explain, the very complicated energetic and spiritual or scientific concepts very easily to the average person so they can get results.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, you brought up Tesla, so I'm obviously a big fan of him, and even Einstein proved that energy and mass, they are just interchangeable things. So and the whole world, the universe, in fact, is more energy than mass, right?
Absolutely. Everything that we're dealing with in this planet, they should call this planet energy, because that's what we're dealing with. And it's so interesting. This is so important because it's life-changing. No one ever teaches us how to deal with the different energies inside us. Yeah. No one teaches us how to deal with adversity or rejection or grief or any of the things that usually turn people's life upside down. But when you're energetically aware, you learn naturally how to deal with all the energies that there are that we deal with as a human being. Not just the good ones, but also the ones that aren't so good. And yet we have to deal with them. And that's the important thing. So when one of the things I say when people want to learn energetic skills, I say it's like swimming. It's better to learn how to swim before you fall overboard. Yeah. Okay? You can't learn how to swim when you're drowning in the water. So with energy awareness training, it prepares you for all the challenges that we have in life. And we have a lot of challenges, but I want to mention the purpose of my work is to do two things. Is one, to end emotional suffering in our lifetime. Emotional suffering. What is that? That means to have tools to be able to deal with this low vibration energy, how to deal with anger, frustration, guilt, anxiety, fear, and to be able to take that and bring it into a place of peace and calm, and to be able to operate no matter what's going on. And the second is to be emotionally and energetically free, so that you're in charge of your emotions and energies. So you're running the energies aren't running you. Okay, that's great. Now, you gave us good information about what are some of the things that people can do to get started with this. But are there any other things that that they should avoid as well, like eating certain foods or consuming certain substances or anything like that they should avoid in order to be more conducive to this work? There certainly are. And yet, one of the things I'll share with you is that knowing if something's good or bad never stopped anybody from doing anything. True enough. We our parents always taught us, don't do this, don't do that. We go, sure, and we went ahead and did it anyway. So what's different about the way I teach versus somebody saying, don't do this and don't do that is, hey, I said, let me just tell you that whatever you're doing has an energy to it. Well, whatever it is, relationships, you're going to get in a new relationship, you're going to start a new business, you're going to move to a new place, whatever, there's an energy there, and that energy can give you information and direction, and it has a frequency. So if you learn what high vibration energy frequency is and a low vibration energy frequency is, the high vibration energy feels good. Mm-hmm. It's long-term happiness and joy. The low vibration energy is maybe short-term pleasure, but long-term pain and suffering. So for example, people know, hey, you shouldn't be eating those fatty foods. Mm-hmm. And you go, I know, but it feels good. Okay, yeah, it feels good. But when you understand how energy works, which is the low vibration energy gives you an ounce of pleasure for a pound of pain. Yeah. So it's like, you can eat that chips, or you can smoke that cigarette, or you can, have an affair if you want to, and it's going to feel good up front. But energetically, you're going to suffer from that. Is that what you want to do? So when you look at it that way, instead of, no, this is right, this is wrong, you go, yeah, I don't want to suffer. I don't want to feel bad. So maybe I'll skip, I'll skip the Coke or the cigarettes or anything. But that's what I found is able to help people make long-term change. Understanding the energetic directions. It's like you're at a fork in a road. Okay, this road is going to bring you this result. This road is going to bring you this one. And you can see it. I call it energetic wisdom. The ability to know the results of your actions before you do it. Manuj, not after, before. That's when it's valuable. And that's the key to the training.
Yeah, I mean, even that awareness of you know, being able to recognize that we do self-sabotage ourselves, and you know, there are ways to get around that. I think that's a huge piece of wisdom that people don't possess. You know, most people, they just go through life suffering through their situations because they don't know how to fix them, or you know, recognize the root causes. So you know, just being able to recognize that, okay, you know, this is something that can be done and controlled. I think that's a huge step forward for everyone.
It absolutely is. It's really empowering. Mm-hmm. It's really empowering to know that you're not stuck at wherever you're at. Whatever you're feeling today, you're not stuck there, even though it might feel that way. And that's the way I felt for a long time. Yeah. I was stuck. I felt frustrated. I felt limited. But I always had an intuition that there was something better, that there was a higher level of learning and awareness. I remember that even as a teenager. Yeah. And sure enough, when you discover the wonderful world of energy and energy awareness, you can free yourself of anything that's taking you down. Even if you've been dealing with personal issues for decades that haven't cleared up, you can clear them up. Yeah. You know, very rapidly through using energy awareness, because I did it myself.
Cool, awesome. Now, is there any particular? I mean, this question may be a little bit loaded, so I'm not sure whether people will like it, but I'd ask anyways. Like, in your experience, do you find certain type of people are attracted towards this work? Like, you know, somebody who suffered from some major trauma, or they had you know, difficult childhood or something like that, or is it people from all walks of life?
Well, people from all walks of life. If you're a human being, mm-hmm. you're going to benefit from the work. But some people are open to it, and some people aren't. Yeah. Some people, you know, some people aren't into discovery or learning or working on themselves or being better. Some people are just about, you know, work, eat, and sleep, and watch TV, and that's it. So, but I work with the people who are interested in developing themselves, in having more, and doing more, in being in the discovery of asking the question, how can I have a great life? How can I improve my life and get rid of the stuff that's not working, and be more and do more and have more? Yeah. And those are the people that are attracted to the work, as well as people who have undergone a lot of adversity, which I did. And people who are still wrestling with their past. That's one of the big things that people come to me with. You know, people have been through some tough times. And right now, anxiety, depression, and fear is in an epidemic proportion here in the Western world. Sure. And that's why you have that's why we have a drug epidemic, because people are trying to hold down, you know, their anxiety, and they're using meds and drugs, and it's becoming, you know, pervasive. But my message is, there are ways that you can use your own energy, 100% healthy, 100% natural, to deal with whatever challenge you're going through, and overcome it, and be able to put yourself in a happy, joyful, healthy place every single day. And that's available to everybody. And whether you believe it or not, you know, some people, it's true. And I say I'm a product of the work, as well as, you know, thousands of other people across the world. Yeah. So change is possible if you're open to it. Yeah. And if you're open to it, we can help.
True enough. Yeah. A lot of people are skeptical, and they just ignore it, you know, until they are ready. So, and that is the reason why I asked the question. So, you know, this is something real. You know, actually, I have experienced something similar in my life. So, yeah, definitely recommend checking it out. Now, is there anything else that I haven't asked you about self-sabotage and energy healing and awareness of energy?
Probably, yeah. Let me make one point I think would really help the listeners, and that is understanding the concepts of energy. So one of the energetic laws I teach is that we live in a world of duality, which is, if there's an up, there's a down. If there's a left, there's a right. If there's a good, there's a bad. If the tide goes in, it goes out, etc. So all of us recognize we have a physical body, okay? And we all know we've got to maintain this physical body. And we know that every day that we go out, we get sweaty and we get dirty. So we got to come home and we got to clean ourselves, right? You take a shower and clean it up. And what happens if you don't take a shower? What happens if you don't clean it for a couple of days or a week? Nothing good, right? It's going to get in the way of your living. Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with what I call, we have an energetic body. And it's an invisible body, but we can certainly feel it. It's your emotions. It's the way you feel. It's your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Now, that energy body, just like our physical body, accumulates dirt, accumulates stress, anxiety, worry, etc. every day. You can't help it by living in the world. And just like our physical bodies, we need to clean and understand how to clean and maintain our energetic bodies. Because if we don't, then the what I call the low vibration or the negative energy accumulates. It's kind of like your radiator on your car. You open the hood and you see all these bugs, stuck to the radiator. Well, that's kind of like the negative or low vibration energy gets stuck to our energy body. And these energies create and attract more of the same. So if I've got low vibration or negative energy stuck in my energy body, it's going to attract more and more and more. And that's why people get stressed, and that brings on, people don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to deal with the stress or the anxiety. So what do? Start drinking, or start eating, or start gambling, or start having affairs, or whatever they do. And that's another negative energy that's going to expand upon it. So the lesson I want to give people is that if you want to maintain maximum health, mind, body, and spirit, you've got to understand and learn how to clean and clear your energy body on a daily basis. And these are the tools that we teach in energy awareness training, to how to clean and clear your energy so that you're not holding any of the low vibration energy, so that you're only holding high vibration, which brings you more happiness and joy. That's the key factor, I think, Manuj.
Well said. Thank you so much. This was an amazing interview, and thanks a lot, Glenn, for sharing all your wisdom. Now, before I let you go, can you tell us a little bit about your training program and how people can get in touch with you and how it all works?
Sure. I have a website that people can go to. It's called EnergyAwarenessSecrets.com, EnergyAwarenessSecrets.com, where they can get more information. I have some basic courses available there for people to if you want more information, or if this is going to, how do I learn more about this? You can go to EnergyAwarenessSecrets.com. You can also find me on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, and people can find me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. I post regularly on all these things, and I'd be happy to talk to anybody who wants more information on this. I'll give you my personal email. Well, I'll just say Energy Awareness Secrets. I don't want to confuse too many people. You can find me on Facebook. I'm happy to get the word out to people, and I love what I do, and I love helping people, and I'm really appreciative that you had me on, and I can share this good news with people.
No, it's been amazing. Thank you so much. I'm sure everybody will get a lot of value out of it, and I hope everybody sort of recognize this is important work, and they can use it to improve their lives. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Manuj. It's been a pleasure being with you.
So again, I'm Manuj Aggarwal, and thanks a lot for joining us on Bootstrapping Your Dreams Show. And now, if you are an existing or an aspiring technology entrepreneur, then I invite you to check out my new online workshop, Bootstrapping Your Tech Startup Dreams. Go to go.tetranoodle.com/boot-podcast and sign up for free. I want to make sure more successful and sound decisions are made every day in your tech projects. Let's start finding solutions to your problems. So go to go.tetranoodle.com/boot-podcast, and I look forward to helping you with your tech startup.